I'm Jerome Lothridge with Oklahoma State University. Thank you for being here today at the Hamm Institute for American Energy, one of OSU's interdisciplinary, agile, and integrated institutes, of which you'll hear about another in just a moment. The Oklahoma Aerospace Institute for Research and Education brings industry and academic experts together under one roof to support ongoing and future partnerships between university, commercial, military, and government agencies, and it serves as a valuable resource for developing Oklahoma's aerospace ecosystem. Launched just over a year ago, its mission is to drive cross-industry collaboration and innovation, which is precisely what brings our partners together for the symposium over these last 2 days. And it's what brings us together today to announce a new initiative with real-life implications for the security and safety of our nation. We're honored to have so many of you here with us today and around the country online. In addition to those who will address you and be introduced individually today, we have several leaders present from our state and our communities who would like to personally acknowledge and thank for being here. Among them are Allison Garrett, our Chancellor for Higher Education. Welcome. I believe we also have State Senators Tom Duggar and Adam Pugh here with us today. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. And there are undoubtedly others in the crowd whom we welcome as well for your service and your leadership. We would not be here today without the strong support and committed leadership of Congressman Frank Lucas, who is loyal and true, and who has been truly instrumental in the formation of the Center for Excellence. Please help me in welcoming Congressman Lucas.
Thank you all for having me here today to see the incredible work being done on unmanned aerial systems. This technology is rapidly progressing, and it's already used in nearly every major industry across the globe. And we've seen the benefits, whether it's precision agriculture, which is very important to our neighbors here in Oklahoma, as well as weather research, supporting first responders, and of course, aiding U.S. military operations. Drones have the potential to transform sectors of the United States economy, including agriculture, law enforcement, public safety, disaster evaluation and response, fire detection, border security, weather forecasting, construction, and yes, utility monitoring. So it's exciting that as this technology grows, OSU is leading the way in aerospace R&D. The Unmanned Systems Research Institute is a true powerhouse of UAS and Counter-UAS technology. OSU's investments in emerging UAS R&D benefits its students, the state of Oklahoma, as well as federal agencies who are looking for academic partners to answer some of today's largest challenges. Of course, Counter-UAS research is just as important as USA research. Bad actors are increasingly using drones to commit crimes, illegal surveillance, espionage, and obstruct law enforcement efforts. R&D and Counter-UAS activities is critical to fully understanding the capacities and threats posted by drones. It's critical that we secure federal assets, such as our energy infrastructure and U.S. border, from bad actors. And the extent of next-generation drones and Counter-UAS technologies will be able to help. And then there's the threat from unauthorized UAS in our airspace. It's no surprise that if you knew how to make UAS systems fly, you also know how to shoot them down, right? Over the past several years, there have been considerable discussion by the Departments of Defense, DHS, and other federal entities regarding how to deal with the serious concerns of unauthorized UAS entering restricted airspaces. Working in partnership with academia will be critical to our ability to address these threats. and I, along with other members of the Oklahoma federal delegation, were very pleased to support research in this area through multiple iterations of the National Defense Authorization Act, as well as federal funding through the appropriations process. OSU is also leading the way on Counter-UAS, and it's well positioned to be a huge resource as we develop this technology. So I'm very pleased to be here today for the announcement of OSU's Counter-UAS Center for Excellence, which emphasizes your commitment to this critical R&D. And I was very proud to lead the Oklahoma delegation in support of a federal grant from the Department of Commerce for the Tulsa Regional Advanced Mobility Corridor. The nearly $39 million grant will go a long ways to advance aerial mobility technology and cement Oklahoma as the hub of UAS and counter-UAS research. I'm committed to federal R&D in UAS and counter-UAS technologies by improving coordination and collaboration at all levels of government, as well as with academic and the private sector. And I'm also pleased, and I believe sincerely, we must invest in domestic manufacturing to secure the supply chains of drones to meet the demand by the federal government and the commercial sectors to reduce the reliance on foreign-made systems. We've all been through a really challenging 2.5 years for a variety of reasons here at home and around the world. The things that you are working on today that Oklahoma State has made such progress on are at the very front edge of addressing those challenges, whether it's the Western Pacific, Eastern Europe, the energy issues we address, or just the fundamental health of the country. I'm excited to see the progress you've made here, and I'm looking forward to working with all of you, and especially Oklahoma State University, to improve America's UAS capacities. It is our future. Thank you.
Congressman, thank you for your continued support and your leadership in this critical area. Fort Sill leads America's training for the Joint Counter-Small UAS University and is a vital part of our country's counter-UAS defense strategies. Colonel Todd Daniels is an instrumental partner for the center's efforts. I ask that you please join me in welcoming Colonel Daniels to the microphone.
All right, good afternoon, Congressman, Dr. Shrum, Dr. Jacobs. I appreciate the opportunity to be here today to represent the Fire Center of Excellence, Major General Camper, and the entire FCO team. So in my role as the Assistant Commandant for the Air Defense School, I have an opportunity to participate in a lot of counter-small UAS efforts across the Department of the Army to include some of the Joint Force. And one thing I've noticed that there are a lot of people that are doing a lot of work, and there's a lot of people doing that work that don't know about a lot of the work that's being done by other people. So events like the symposium that we've held here today over the last 2 days, or this week over the last 2 days, and the efforts that the OSU Counter-UAS Center of Excellence are going to offer really help to resolve that issue of opening up everyone's eyes, sharing information, helping to find those shared solutions to a very complex but critical problem that we need to solve. And what I've seen from the OSU USRI team, from what's going to be the Center of Excellence for Counter-UAS here at OSU, as a soldier, it is very, very encouraging to see the open dialogue, to see the communication, to see the thought, the brilliant minds putting a lot of thought, a lot of effort, and a lot of work to solve these problems, to work across industry, across academia, and across the government. Oftentimes, three agencies that are very bureaucratic by nature with very distinct boundaries, people working to solve those boundaries, to cross those boundaries with ease. And as we say at Fort Sill, life is much better with great teammates. And so I'm excited to see where this partnership can go with the Joint Counter Small UAS University, the Fire Center of Excellence at Fort Sill, OSU, and the USRI, and the OSU's Counter-UAS Center of Excellence. So again, thank you for the opportunity to participate, and I look forward and I'm excited to seeing how we continue to work together to solve these problems. Thank you.
Colonel, thank you for your service and for your partnership, which we look forward to continuing and growing in the years to come. Having made aviation and aerospace a signature sector in her vision for OSU's future, it's now my pleasure to introduce and bring to the podium OSU's 19th president, Dr. Casey Shrum.
Thank you. It's wonderful to be with you today and with individuals like Colonel Daniels from Fort Sill and Congressman Lucas. They represent the depth and breadth of Oklahoma's aerospace excellence and what we are accomplishing at Oklahoma State University in the Oklahoma Aerospace Institute for Research and Education. I want to thank all the symposium attendees for joining us. You represent vital partnerships that are key for advancing OAIRE and the state's aerospace infrastructure. By working together, we are setting the national standard for Counter-UAS. The possibilities for the future of aerospace at OSU in Oklahoma and for the United States are far-reaching, and it's all built on a bedrock constructed from decades of experience. The expanse knowledge at Oklahoma State University in aviation and aerospace cannot be matched. We've been training pilots for more than 80 years. We've had a partnership with NASA for more than 50 years. In September of 2010, we launched the world's first graduate degree option in unmanned aerial systems. We predicted then that it would attract top students and multiply partnerships. That prediction could not have been more accurate. By February 2011, we announced a memorandum of understanding between OSU, the Federal Aviation Administration, and the U.S. Air Force to collaborate on unmanned aerial system research. You see, before there was the field of unmanned systems, OSU students in aerospace and mechanical engineering were building unmanned aircraft from the ground up. Today, while so many universities say they do unmanned aerial research, they're often pulling drones off the shelf at a big box stores and modifying the programming. We are one of the elite few who have the knowledge and the infrastructure to build entirely new aircraft. We have the manufacturing abilities, the testing facilities, our own unmanned system airfield in Stillwater, and another within the Fort Sill airspace. We have beyond visual line of sight corridor approved by the FAA, and these are just a few things that set us apart. As a land-grant university, Oklahoma State is tackling some of society's most pressing problems, from energy security to feeding the world. Over the past several years, we've also added strengthening national security to the list. While much work in OSU's Counter-UAS efforts have already taken place, today is the official launch for the National Counter-UAS Center of Excellence. This center will change what's possible with national security. It will advance research, strengthen the Oklahoma economy as we merge civilian and military worlds into a partnership that will exponentially improve the mission of both. As a part of OAIRE, the center is a vital component of OSU's aerospace infrastructure, which extends across the state of Oklahoma. We are utilizing resources across the state, working with industry and federal agencies to coordinate and evaluate technology to ensure the U.S. retains the lead in UAS and counter-UAS technology for the foreseeable future. And I have some exciting news to share. OSU's National Counter-UAS Center for Excellence has been selected as the lead contractor for the Department of Homeland Security on Counter-UAS. This $15 million IDIQ government contract, known as the Indefinite Delivery, Indefinite Quantity with Momentum, will support programs of national significance in defense, security, and more. Together, we will rapidly develop and test counter-UAS capabilities and bolster the U.S. military's ability to attract a skilled, security-cleared workforce to develop and test this technology. I have to pause and take a moment to recognize an Oklahoma leader who has been instrumental in securing Oklahoma's place in national defense. Thank you, Senator Jim Inhofe, for your leadership at the national level. You worked tirelessly to position the United States and Oklahoma to excel in this sector. Before I introduce our next speaker, we have another announcement to further solidify Oklahoma State University's excellence in aerospace for the future. Dr. Jamie Jacob has established himself as a national leader in the field of unmanned aerial systems, their development, and their application. He is one of the brightest minds in this field, and it is my pleasure to formally share that he is being named the director of the Oklahoma Aerospace Institute for Research and Education. Congratulations, Jamie, on this tremendous accomplishment. Jamie, will you share a few words with us, please?
Thank you very much, President Shrum. It's certainly an honor to be able to take the lead of OAIRE and help establish OSU's leadership in aerospace engineering, as well as further the benefits of aerospace engineering and serve our land grant mission to be able to serve the people across the state of Oklahoma. The Oklahoma aviation aerospace industry is $44 billion of annual economic activity and is the second largest industry in the state behind energy, directly employing 120,000 and indirectly supporting over 200,000 high-tech jobs. With the advent of the new advanced air mobility industry, Oklahoma has an opportunity to leverage its expertise in aerospace and autonomous systems to lead in the newest and fastest growing field of aviation and secure a global impact throughout the 21st century. Since the founding of the aerospace engineering and aviation programs nearly a century ago, Oklahoma State University has been the region's preeminent leader in aerospace and aviation research, education, and training. And with the establishment of OAIRE, this really secures our mission as a land-grant institution to be able to support this great industry. In particular, with the founding of the Counter-UAS Center of Excellence, we can pivot, and as air defense systems that over the years have been designed to counter the threat, have been designed to focus on fast-moving aircraft and missiles versus small, low-flying drones. As we see unfolding currently in Ukraine and elsewhere across the globe, advances in artificial intelligence, sensors, and navigation have transformed drones into accurate, lethal, and effective weapons of war. In the wrong hands, rogue drones can inflict considerable damage. Detection and neutralization of drone threats will be our priority, working with our partners in both military and civilian sectors of the government and supporting industry as we help to develop and evaluate new solutions at the center part of our land grant mission to keep Americans safe and secure, defending all degrees of freedom. And with that, I ask you to turn your eyes to the skyline. With that, we launch the Counter-UAS Center of Excellence. Thank you for attendance.
Well, Congressman, Colonel, President, and now Director, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your attendance both at this symposium and at this exciting announcement. It's time to eat. So we invite you once again to join us as we dine together. Again, thank you for your attendance, and you'll find the line just over here to the north. Thank you, and go Pokes.
Nice surprise.
It was a great show. Everyone,
I need to
everyone went, and these are a bunch of hard drum people.
don't look behind the mirror. Keep the curtain closed.
Keep the curtain closed. Okay. Well, great job. Yeah.
Great. Thank
Great
you.
job. Congratulations.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, or condolences.
Well, you said it. I didn't.
Some more work to do. All right.
Look at it.
How'd that work?
Oh, you
Is that good?
Thank you so much.
Really appreciate your leadership and support.
Do y'all mind doing a photo down front?
Sure.
Thank you, Colonel.
Oh, thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Congressman.
Congratulations,
Good
by the way.
to see you again.
That's awesome. Congratulations.